Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Simply Dorales. This is Dorales, and I apologize in advance for the late podcast. We will really try to be on time next time. We will be on time. Kind of got the schedule mixed up since I just changed it from 3 to 5. I do have your favorite co-host, the preacher himself, Mr. KC.
Hi, y'all.
Okay, so what is a phobia? What classifies as a phobia? A phobia is an example of an irrational fear or aversion to something. There are three main groups of phobias. There's specific, which is simple, phobias, which are the most common and focus on specific objects. There's social phobias, which causes extreme anxiety in social or public situations. And there's agoraphobia, which is the fear of being alone in public in places from which there is no easy escape. So the psychological take on it, or definition of a phobia is essentially an overwhelming and debilitating fear of an object, place, situation, feeling, or animal. Phobias are more pronounced than fears. They develop when a person has an exaggerated or unrealistic sense of danger about a situation or object. So you may be asking, what's the difference between a phobia and a fear? Because you may be scared of something and fearful of something, but that don't mean it's a phobia. The difference between them is fear is a normal reaction to a threat, while a phobia leads to a fear response even when you're not in danger. An example of a fear is like fear of heights, flying, spiders, needles, vomiting. Fear is essentially a natural emotional reaction when you believe there is a real and imminent danger. Fear also prepares you to take cover and gather emergency supplies in case of a hurricane, for example. Your fear lasts until the storm is over. A phobia, on the other hand, is a type of anxiety disorder. Phobias trigger overwhelming anxiety even when it's clear you aren't in danger. Example, you see a spider on the TV and it makes you very anxious if you have arachnophobia. So like you see the spider and you're just like, you just start freaking out like it's in the room or touching you, and it's not. It's clearly on the TV and it can't come out of the TV. I mean, if stuff would come out of the TV, I want to take some of that money off of Rush Hour. There are top 10 phobias from all around the world. This is a poll that was taken thanks to Psychology Today. The number one phobia is arachnophobia, which is a fear of heights, and it affects more than 6% of people. Do you have a fear of heights, Casey?
No, I'm gonna skydive someday. I don't care.
Do you know someone who's like insanely afraid of heights?
Not really. I mean, most people I keep around me are gonna be daredevils like myself. So, are you scared of heights?
Oh no, I welcome them.
Okay, there you go.
All right, so number 2 is aerophobia, which is fear of flying, which affects between 10 to 40% of the world's population. When, in fact, plane crashes are less frequent than car crashes. Number 3 is arachnophobia, which is fear of spiders and other arachnids. Number 4 is, bear with me, my pronunciation is the best, but it's spelled OPHIDIOPHOBIA, which is a fear of snakes. A lot of people have this fear. I have met a lot of people I'm not scared of snakes. I'm cautious when it comes to poisonous snakes, but I'm not scared of them. I have a pet snake. I hold it, let it crawl on me and everything. I'm not scared of it. Are you scared of snakes?
You just lost your black card.
I really did not. There's actually a lot of snake owners are black. Boom.
Bam.
So number 5 is cynophobia, which is fear of dogs. This is a very common one. A lot of people freak out over dogs, even if the dog is nowhere near them. And that fear actually can stem from being bitten by one, or know someone who's been bitten by a dog or something like that. You just
Go watch the mailman run on TV.
Yeah, that. 6, trypanophobia, which is a fear of injections. 20 to 30% of the population of the world today is scared of injections, needles. I don't know about y'all, but on K&A, none of them motherfuckers scared of needles. They welcome them. Number 7 is astrophobia, which is fear of thunder and lightning. I haven't met too many people that's scared of that. He said, Ted, fuck you, thunder. You can suck my dick. Fuck you, thunder, because you just got far. Thunder buddies for life. Number 8 is agoraphobia, which is fear of being alone in a situation where you cannot escape. Fear of open spaces and crowded areas. This is actually a real phobia. I haven't experienced it personally, but I have seen it on countless TV shows where people are scared to come outside. Number 9 is mysophobia, which is fear of germs and dirt. You don't have that because you work under cars, like. And number 10 is social phobia. Social phobia can lead to anxiety attacks, panic attacks. And I actually know a lot of people that suffer from that. Now, I know I'm joking and everything, but all these phobias are real. And to anyone who's dealing with them, I really hope you seek and get help to learn how to cope and deal with your phobias. All jokes aside, I would like for you guys to get, hey, Brandon, you've been waiting on me forever. I'm sorry. You know, life happened. I'm going to be better next time. I promise. Yeah, he's here. Say hi.
What up?
Okay, so this podcast, we are going to be talking about phobias. We're going to get Casey's take, and if we have enough time, we will, because you guys have been begging for me to let Casey talk about mechanics again. So let's get on with what Casey has to say about phobias.
I don't really have a whole lot to say about phobias. I mean, there is another phobia that I didn't hear, and that's claustrophobia, which is, being closed up in tight spaces.
That's a common one.
Yeah. Not a phobia type of person. My mentality is a little bit more challenging, so I'm kind of like, just like I'm not allergic to nothing. I don't know. I don't have any phobias.
Do you understand the difference between a fear and a phobia?
Somewhat, but they still kind of are in the same kind of classification to some degree to me. Okay. I mean, because when you have a phobia or something, you run from it like you're scared of it. So, I mean...
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess, like, a fear is a natural reaction. Like, okay, say that I'm outside just enjoying fresh air and there's a car coming towards me and I'm about to get hit. I'm scared. I jump out of the way to go into safety. But as soon when I say I'm safe, I'm fine. A phobia, for example, would be
something that you're always going to have versus a fear that it comes to the end once it's gone. I get that part of it. But at the same...
Fears can be rational. Phobias are not always rational.
Well, I'm just talking about it from a reaction standpoint.
Okay.
Because you can react the same way to a fear as you can a phobia.
Okay. I can definitely see that. I can definitely see that. Wow, we're having a lot of questions on mechanics. They obviously want me to switch the topic. Okay, so shout out to Emily in California. I'm glad I'm reaching you guys over there in the sunny state. Hello, Emily. Your question for KC is, how the fuck do I change my brake pads without the pad keep slipping? I cannot get it to close.
Your caliper piston is extended. Anytime you get ready to take the brakes off, before you take the pad off, you could take a screwdriver, stick it in the back of the caliper, and pull it towards you. That should cause the piston to retract, so that way you can get the caliper to go back on after you put the new brake pads on.
She gave you 5 hearts and kissy faces. Thank you, Emily. Next question. Jason from Baltimore. Hey, how's the weather up there? Is it cold? It's hot in Texas. He said that whenever he pulls out of a parking spot, he noticed that his car leaves behind blue fluid on the floor.
Blue fluid. That's interesting. What kind of car is it?
I don't. What kind of car is it? A 2000 what? 2012 Honda Civic. When did this start happening?
Is it a standard or automatic?
Is it standard or automatic? Standard. He said he didn't have the problem until after he rolled over something on the highway.
I would take that to the shop, because that sounds like it might be leaking gear oil from the transmission possibly, and it could be just like something simple like a hose or something to that extent. But you definitely want to get it checked out before it gets too low, and you want to find out if is it thick or is it loose, because normally if it's thick, it will take a little while for it to go. But if it's loose, it could be just pouring out and everything like that.
Take your car to a shop, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Next question. Ooh, I like this question. Oh, you right here from Texas. Shout out to McKinney. Hey. Hudson, what's up? Yeah, we're local as well. Hudson wants to know. I'm sorry, Hudson. Are you a female or a male? Because that's a kind of either or. I want to address you with your right pronouns. Male. Okay. Hudson from McKinney wants to know if you can help settle a debate him and his cousins are having while listening to this podcast. Which is the better engine? A regular, a turbo, a twin turbo? What makes it better to put in the car to make faster? I think that depends on the car.
It depends on really what you want. Okay, because see, you could take first of all, the larger the turbo, the longer time it's going to take for it to spool up and boost. Okay, so if you want a car that's really, really quick and rapid, in a sense, you're going to want a smaller turbo. But a smaller turbo is going to give you less on the top end. So, and if you use a twin turbo setup, a lot of twin turbo setups, such as if I'm not mistaken, the Nissan GTR, what it does is it uses a smaller turbo, so that smaller turbo can boost up, and then it has a bigger turbo on the second wave. So once that smaller turbo boosts up, then it kicks in the larger turbo, and you got more of a turbo boost span across the whole. Whatever you want to call it, I don't know.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because they're getting hype. He actually has a Nissan GTR, and he's trying to tell his cousins that his car is better than their dumbass muscle cars. One has a Mustang, and the other one has a Camaro. Hey, don't come at no. I love me a Camaro. Don't come in a Camaro.
I mean, but see, the thing is, all of those Camaros and the Mustangs and everything like that, they come in V8s, and this Nissan GTR comes with this Fire V6 with a twin turbo setup, and it's doing what the V8s are trying to portray. In most cases, don't get me wrong. Anybody can build an engine to do what they needed to do, but